I thought I could have gotten through it. We're just going to present you by Birdsall Law Firm, located 19 Pointer Street by the Superdome. Give a call at 504-523-5413. We'll start the show.
First took away. Dance with this. Get your money's worth now.
Make sure you smash the like button. 5, we talked about the process. I just saw your tweet, the process. We've been talking about it for 3 fucking months now. Once again, they're now 0-24 while trailing going into the fourth quarter. And once again, the crunch time woes. We were literally hysterically laughing at the possession. Total chaos ensued where we missed the dunk running around. I think we airballed 2 threes. Brandon sprinted to the right wing at one point. Did a turnaround fadeaway 3-pointer that completely missed the goal. What did you see, I guess, late, like the last 3 minutes? Because that was it was something special.
Nothing that I hadn't seen all season. I mean, if you thought, well, maybe I didn't see Brandon like sprint to the wing and try to shoot a 3-pointer at that, like I hadn't seen that. But but the lack of understanding like of what to do in critical moments, we've seen this movie before. This isn't something new. You know what's funny? Not even the fourth quarter is what pissed me off. It was actually the second quarter. The Thunder come out, they score a quick bucket. Willie Green calls a timeout with 13 seconds left. With 13 seconds have passed in the second quarter, right?
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
It's like trying to reprimand your child and they're already an adult. Like you already know who they are. This isn't the first time. Like you've never done that during the regular season. Like that is a regular season move. That is preparing like, hey, this is what we're going to do. We're not going to allow this. This is how we're going to play. And to do it at that moment just lets me know, bro, it's too late. Like this is who your team is. If that's how you're going to respond to, like, no, it's too late. You have to allow them to be who they are. And what we saw in the fourth quarter was just indicative of who this team is and who they've been throughout this entire season.
And we talk about high like IQ, right, Jared? And one of the main plays like that pissed me off, and I even texted on the group chat is, okay, so we're down 3. I think there's 27 seconds left, and late in the third quarter, 27 seconds left. We should have the final shot. And they kind of sent a double. I think it's CJ and Jose gets out of control, goes quick, misses it. They come back down. They hit a 3. We then inbound the ball again. CJ dribbles it off his foot. OKC calls a timeout with 0.8 seconds left in the third. And then I think Chet or Herb blocks Chet's 3. The point being, though, it's playing with an IQ because that, like in a 1-possession game, that mattered right there. That swing right there at the end of the third quarter really fucking hurt you in the fourth. And then there was also a moment, Lito, and we're going to talk about JV, but the Larry Nance segment where he gets the rebound. Great, we get a great stop, gets the rebound. He throws it to Trey Murphy, who's standing out of bounds. They get another possession. Herb Jones had a turnover the possession before, and then they tie it up. We get another great possession. CJ hits Larry on the pocket pass, and Larry blows the dunk. Like he played good. Like he played good. Like 5 even literally texted me. Like he was playing well, and then that moment happens.
Yeah, he was playing decent. He had a decent game. I don't know. I guess I don't know. Can't even make up any excuse for that. But it was also the finger roll up against Chet that Chet blocked. That was just a little crazy because it was like he reverse pivot in the lane and like BI was over there in the corner, even though BI was never gonna shoot that shot, but still probably would have been a better look than what Larry had. BI was god awful, by the way. He was. I don't know what we had in the show, but BI was awful. The refs didn't do BI a lot of favors with the defense that was allowing Dort to play. And Justin, I want to say this before you tell me that it's Willie Green, because technically it's Willie Green who's supposed to draw up a play to get Dort off of Brandon, right? Yeah. As a coach, you would have ran some action, some misdirection in that way. Go ahead, Five.
they were top locking Brandon, right? So the
Mhm.
only way to beat that, you would need the back screen to get Dort off, and you would have been able to hit Brandon for a layup. Like, remember how they were top locking Trey Murphy, but Herb found Trey for a layup? See, that's the shit that you
And
probably want to do.
if they switch off it,
Yeah.
then you have Brandon off of Dort. So it's advantageous either way.
So
Yeah.
you saying yes or no? You in
I
layman's
don't know.
terms.
At this point, I don't even know. At this
All right.
I'm
point, I don't
saying.
I got nothing for you. Make sure you smash the like button. Everybody's here tonight. Chaz and Chris as well. Ross, what I don't know.
Just seen Chaz glasses.
What the fuck's
Plural.
going on?
I guess let's
Plural.
talk the combination of CJ McCollum and Brandon Ingram. CJ and Brandon combined to go 14 of 39 from the field tonight. 35%.
Shoot or shoot. No. Yeah, they were both bad. Brandon he he could not create any space. He never creates a lot of space, right? It's just sort of like his game is, kind of shooting over the top of people or defenders and all that stuff. That's fine. But like, they were obviously letting Dort play pretty physical, really the entire game. Well, I guess everything until about the last 5 minutes. But he just didn't create any space at all, and that's obviously not good for him, and it's a huge deterrent for everyone else, right? Those guys were just bad. I don't know what else to say. There's not really. I mean, even at the end of the game, there, we didn't draw anything up. We just inbounded it to CJ, and kind of just.
I think it was for the switch. That's what I'm guessing, Jared, because Trey actually stopped. Like, he screened.
Like, you can't. That isn't a team where you can just switch and find another guy to go at. Like, you have to get them in rotations before. CJ, the thing is, CJ didn't have it going anyway. So what's the point of having him in a one-on-one situation to bail you out? Like, that's not creating an advantage. You're just playing into the defense's hands.
And it's not, CJ to a lesser extent. I think he can get to different spots on the floor than Brandon can, but CJ's not creating a ton of space either. Like, even the shots he made tonight were difficult, off balance, contested. Like, it just didn't feel like a very good, a good idea there at the end of the game. But I don't know. Yeah, there's not. I don't want to belabor this because they just both stunk.
Well, we're talking about CJ
CJ
and Brandon. The one guy that did have it going there in the second half was Trey Murphy, and his last shot attempt was a putback dunk with 7 minutes and 10 seconds left remaining in the fourth quarter.
Man, you talk about defense, huh?
He was probably one of your better defenders tonight, too. Go ahead, Chaz. Chaz, you've been waiting patiently. Go, Chaz, and go, Chris.
I thought it was a lot of positives with this game. Hey, OKC. I think OKC was rusty coming out. I think you saw a lot of that tonight. Did a good job not letting Dort nor Giddey be much of a factor in this game. And hey, man, it's one game. All you do is look at the film, go over some of the mistakes you made, come out next game, try to play with more force, and just see where it goes from there. Hey, sometimes you just get the worst of both worlds, and I thought the team played with great effort and fight, and I'm confident going into the next game personally.
Chris, go ahead. Following that one up.
What's happening here? What's happening here, Justin? Because that's crazy. I
want to thank the Lord. I want to thank Coach Harbaugh. Fucking love you.
What's crazy is your performance before the game, but go ahead. That's fine.
Well, I thank the Lord. Well, I thank Coach Harbaugh. Fucking love you, man.
Okay. Anyway, since we're having a basketball show now, so we can talk about like what the fuck's this guy's problem, man? Jesus Christ. Basketball. I thought that they would win tonight, and I actually left the game feeling more confident about their chances in the series, but thinking that they could win the series. But I know they won't, because they don't, like, teams just simply out execute them down the stretch, man. I mean, it's just, it is what it is. Teams out execute them time after time. Whatever you want to blame it on, missed dunk, bad three, play execution, play calling, turnovers that we hardly ever see in
He
today's.
threw the ball to somebody out of bounds.
Like it just happens. But I mean, I think that they have a lot of things that match up. Like, Najee played some of the best defense you could really ask for on Project Pat. He did a really good job. Like, I think taking the ball from him on back-to-back possessions, which was a big part of getting them back in the game. I think the people that they asked or they dared to beat them, I mean, I would agree that that's the way to go. I think they did a solid job on Chet. SGA was 28, had 28, but it took him 24 shots to get it. Like you did, everything well, and you're right there for the most part. And both of your best and second best guys didn't shoot the ball well from the floor. So you would look at that and say, all right, like I should feel confident about this team winning. But the problem is it's certain things. It's the small things that kill you in these games, man. And you have to ask for a team that has struggled as much as they have in the clutch. For a team, we could all talk about tweaks that we would have, like Larry got you back in the game, but was Larry going to be the one to help you close the game? Maybe someone else would have thought, well, okay, we're back in this game now. Now we bring Jonas back in, because we're still struggling with the things that we were struggling with all game, and that was getting clean looks in half court, getting clean looks, getting open looks. It wasn't, outside of Trey Murphy shooting 30-foot threes, where else was he going to find a clean look? Brandon made a couple tough shots. Most of CJ's looks were tough shots. I mean, the only person that was able to kind of navigate and control the looks that they were getting was Jonas. So it's just tough when you got a team like Oklahoma City that down the stretch has a guy who is going to get it done. SGA is going to get it done. One of these other guys are going to, and one of the other role players are going to play better. So, hey, man, it's game one. I think that they can win at least two of these games, but they got to find a way to execute better down the stretch. But we've been saying that all year.
Yeah. What did you go ahead, Jared?
No, I just want to say this to Chris's point about Jonas. And at a minute 57, Shea picks up a stupid foul, right? A stupid foul, like 40 feet from the basket, but it's the first foul under 2 minutes. That time I would have put Jonas in, right, and given the ball to him on the post and say, try to go get a bucket. Somebody had tweeted that Jonas had missed like 3 shots in a row. I don't give a shit. He had 20 boards tonight.
It was one possession. It was
that one possession.
Yeah.
That's so
it was the one possession.
But regardless, like, I would have given him the ball on the block, allowed him to try to go finish or get fouled. Like, you needed a bucket. You needed somewhere to generate a bucket or just generate a mismatch or send 2. And he's been really good about moving the ball. I would have had Trey 1 pass away, CJ 2 passes away, and move that way. But this is my issue with this team. They don't think like that. They don't think they outsmart themselves before the other team even does it. That's the issue.
Leo, go ahead. We were honest.
No, so yeah, because I mean, I've seen a lot of people say in the chat, but we were down 4 when Jonas came out at the 6-minute mark. So Chet and Larry both checked in at the same time with 6 and a couple, 6 and a quarter left or whatever. We were down 4 at that point, and I thought it made perfect sense. Like, to be honest, I thought up to that point, I was really cool with the Larry and JV distribution for the game. I thought, in fact, they had done a pretty good job up to that point of, like, aligning rotations to where you were getting Jonas in some good matchups. I thought Larry had only at that point probably played 11 minutes or 12 minutes, which is sort of where he probably needs to be in the grand scheme of things at that point, where his energy is still useful. He's not having to go up against the other team's first unit a lot, all that stuff. I thought I was fine. And even Larry checking in at that point. But, exactly to what Five just said, it felt like at that 3-2 minute mark that JV should have come back in. You had enough evidence in that game that he was holding up defensively. He was fine. He was helping you generate good looks. Some of the only easy baskets we got all game. So I just didn't understand, like, nervously staying with the group that was in there for the last 6 minutes. I didn't think you had to.
The last time, and what he played like 29 minutes tonight. He played 33 the other night against Sacramento. But before that, the last time he played 29 minutes was in February. Like, I mean, I agree, Ross. I think that they did a solid job with the minute, distribution. But, again, man, you gotta, like, to win these games, to steal these games, you gotta be forward thinking, man. And sometimes, you gotta go against the grain with some of the decisions that you will make. And it's just hard to, we haven't seen enough to say that is what the team would do. That is what the team has shown you that they're capable of doing. Because that was the moment, man. I mean, hell, when you went up by 2, I'm putting Jonas in the game. Even before the foul, it was a minute 57 left under or in the fourth quarter when SGA gets that foul. Yes, immediately put him in the game, especially when you see them now. They're starting to trap on the high screening rows or the screening rows at the free throw line between Jonas and CJ. Well, no, I'm sorry, between Larry and CJ. So they're like, all right, if Larry's going to make a play in a short roll or if he's going to finish at the rim, if Larry Nance is going to beat us, then Larry Nance is going to beat us. It would have been totally different, when you got Jonas out there. He dominated the boards. I mean, I forgot already which one of you guys mentioned he had 20 rebounds. Yeah, he was dominating the game when he was in there, even with some of the, like, there was a couple possessions where he could have been more aggressive, where he maybe passed up a shot that he shouldn't have. But that's what you need for him when you consider the fact that he is an advantage creator, and you're gonna need it all series.
And then the last 3. So to Jared's point, and we'll get to you, Lito, then Chaz. So 3.5 left. They go up 2. The Thunder take a timeout. Then SGA immediately has a turnover. Then the Pelicans go turnover, get a stop. Larry Nance throws the ball out of bounds. Get a stop. Herb Jones turnover. Get another stop. Larry Nance missed dunk. Get another stop. Brandon Ingram turnover. So for 2 straight minutes, you didn't get a shot. I'm sorry, you did. Larry Nance missed the dunk.
A dunk shot. Hey, the thing I think that's unfortunate in this whole situation is that you're probably not gonna get a better shot at beating this team than this. You know what I'm saying? Like they've been off for a while. They haven't been playing basketball. They had a little bit of a rust, and they probably not gonna shoot this bad again. This was probably your game to steal. Kind of how I felt earlier, actually going into the game. I thought if you were gonna be able to get a game anywhere, probably would be this one. And all things considered, like, your 2 best guys didn't play the best, and you still had a chance to win the game. So I mean, if I don't know what positives you could take from that, because I think the Thunder just gonna get better. I think Jonas was very good at muddying the game up for Shea early on. He got to play in the paint and be impactful in that he didn't let, like, he was always there, so like Shea didn't get a chance to really operate right there. But the thing about Jonas that really pissed me off this game was he had a couple possessions where he had Chet one-on-one. He just kept looking to pass it. He didn't attack him. He had many times he could have tried to attack him. It looked like they were, and it looked like that was what the Pelicans were okay with doing. And that's not something I've been able to say so far this season. And Jonas, to me, didn't live up to his end in that moment.
Chaz, you got anything to add?
I'm
just so
overall,
Justin, you're right now.
Oh, like, I'm not. Like, sorry, Chaz. I'm not. Like, this is what, like, go ahead, Chaz. Go ahead.
No, I just thought there was a lot of positives. I thought JV had 20 boards in the playoffs. I thought he was a big reason for that comeback being mounted. Hit some big shots. Got to the free throw line, did his thing. I also think it's a little unfair I'm not even gonna say unfair. I think we got to stop pairing the CJ performances with Brandon's performances. I think there's a point where they need to stand individually because like both guys can play bad, and one is expected just to be a little bit better. Like you know what I'm saying? Like you can be bad isn't like the worst thing. You just can't be god fucking awful, right? Like it's like CJ was bad, Brandon was god fucking awful, and that's about it's been 4 games. He's been god fucking awful 3 out of 4 games since he's been back, and much like that Wizards game, I think you always go for the win at the end of a road game when you're down 2. I think you always go for the win. But much like that sorry, I said Wizards, the Wolves game, I felt like at the end, CJ was the best of a bunch of bad options. I would have liked to see the ball go to Trey in that scenario. If you are going to go for the win, I would like to see the ball go to Trey in that scenario. Someone who kind of had it going, but just like we've always seen, the guy who has it going, the best player on the floor that night. This is the Pelicans. We're fooling ourselves if we think that guy's going to get the ball in the clutch. We've seen nothing but evidence to the contrary this entire season. But yeah, man, I just think 12 points not a lot of points, man. 12 points is that's bad. That's like the second time versus OKC. I think he's had 12 points. I think they kind of got this whole 12-point thing figured out over there in OKC. And to Lito's point, I just don't think I thought OKC played as bad as they could possibly play. Like missing free throws in the clutch, giving up 4 offensive boards back to back to Larry Nance of all people. I thought it was a questionable officiating call. I thought I don't know, man. I just felt like the Pelicans they had an opportunity to steal the game, and they just kind of fumbled it away. I don't think it's the worst thing though. I think you got to just view this team like you would view a malnourished child trying out for the wrestling team. And it's like, well, fuck so what if he places 30 out of 30 kids? He's a story, he's a malnourished child on the wrestling team. He deserves an A for even being there, like trying. And that's why I'm at. I got nothing but good things to say about the team tonight.
Jared, we got to talk a little bit about Herb. So we talked before about how he's gonna be left open in the corner a lot. The Thunder do a good job of getting over and help, taking away that short roll or PNR. They actually failed that tonight with Larry Nance, but Herb goes 2 of 10 from the field, 2 of 8 from deep. I thought he took some good looks besides the one that went off the side of the backboard that reminded Lito of Tony Snell. He hit a big one there in the 4th. I think to take the lead, or was it to tie it? To tie it?
To tie it.
Yeah, to tie it, and then he missed another one. You worried about him? What are your thoughts on Herb's performance offensively?
I think, let's say if he makes that layup versus Chet early, it's a different Herb that we'll see, right? Like I think that changes things. Like Herb needs to see the ball go through the net, and that changes. Like even the one he tied, I think that it's almost like a fast break dunk for this team. Like it changes things. Like, all right, Herb hit one. Like that's a big one. Now we have the energy to finish. Like 2 for 10. All right, cool. It is what it is. Like he had to take those shots. Well, not the one in that corner where he hit the side backboard. Like I think that was earlier in the shot clock. Like he didn't necessarily have to, but you want to take corner threes. You're gonna need corner threes against this team because they're gonna take away the short roll. I just think it'd be best for the Pelicans to put him in the correct corner, right? Or put somebody else in there that can knock down those shots. But as I actually tweeted it out the other day, like the Pelicans have like 4 guys that are shooting that they play enough that shoot over like 40% from the corners. So if they can knock down shot, and Najee Marshall can knock down the corner 3, if Jose Alvarado can knock down the corner 3, Maxi Daniels can knock down the corner 3, I think that bodes well for the Pelicans. I always thought game 2 was the game that they should steal, but they had an opportunity tonight to steal this one. It's kind of upsetting that they didn't.
Yeah. Here's the last play. Last play's in.
McCollum, he made the 2 on the fadeaway. J-Dub defending. The rookie Cason Wallace on the switch. As McCollum go for the 3. McCollum dribbles it off of his foot. Nothing doing. Leans in. McCollum the 3. Too strong. And this one is.
Can I please say something about this? And I don't want to go on a tangent about the process because some, slimy fucks wouldn't even understand what I'm saying. But this is where just the level of growth and comprehension this isn't there. You're on the road. You're down 2. You don't wait for the final shot of the possession. You shoot early. That way you can foul and you have another opportunity to take another shot. But clearly, no one on this team.
That's a very good point. That's
do you think he was?
I won't run this again.
I felt like he was. Go ahead.
McCollum, he made the 2 on the fadeaway. J-Dub defending. The rookie Cason Wallace on the switch. As McCollum go for the 3. McCollum dribbles it off of his foot. Nothing doing. Leans in. McCollum the 3. Too strong. And this.
JV has 20 fucking boards in this game. He has 9 offensive boards. No, you don't wait till the final shot to shoot. Hopefully that wasn't what CJ was trying to do. I mean, he dribbled the ball off his foot for the second time tonight, right? Like this is but again, this is a consistent problem. We've seen this before. Like we've seen it happen before. I don't know why. I don't want to be upset about it because I've seen it already. It's like, why? Why should we put ourselves through this madness that we continue to see from this team?
Why couldn't JV just set a high ball screen? No, I'm serious.
No, I understood. Like if you were going to try to do something with Trey, that made sense to me. But when all you got was just a straight switch and JV
is Chet in the game. Is Chet in the game?
Yeah, Chet and JV are standing like on the baseline so far out of the play.
If they're gonna switch, why would you have a smaller guard on him?
Right. So when you just got a clean switch on the Trey thing, I would like how are you not immediately going into a secondary action where JV's at a full sprint to the elbow? Like
because you get them in drop and then CJ either attacks that, dumps off to CJ, they collapse, and you literally hit one of them in the corner 3s. Lito,
I don't think the play went that far.
Cross? Oh, no, it didn't go far. There was nothing.
I'm saying I don't think it went that far on the whiteboard. Before they walked out there, I don't think it went that far.
Lito, you're muted.
I don't know what the play. It looked like Trey was supposed to be involved, like Ross was saying, but he wasn't. He was like it was a very I guess off-putting pick anyway, and I don't know, but somebody called the play. So like maybe the play was for where was Brandon? Where's Brandon?
He's in the left corner.
In the left corner.
Okay.
They made it was clear. It was CJ's call. It was clear.
Had to be.
Yeah, it wasn't very good. So
well, the thing is, like CJ, it was tough for CJ to create separation anyway, right? Like he hadn't been able to create separation all night. Like Brandon, all night. I don't know why you even attempt to do that. I mean, CJ's 6'3", but you're going to try to get a switch over a smaller guard. but that young man was keeping up with you too. So I don't know how. I mean, I get the arrogance of it, but I don't know how that plays into the hands of the Pelicans. Like, how is that necessarily beneficial? Does that give you the best shot available to win the game?
I mean, they struggled creating, clean looks in the half court all game. So it's tough to look at it with the most important possession of the game and say, well, they're going to do it now. We knew. I mean, I don't think anyone, once CJ had the basketball, there was no one in the building that didn't think he was going to go for the win. It just, definitely not surprised by it. It's just, what type of optimism can you pull to think that it's going to change? I mean, look, like what are you pulling from? Because there will be games throughout the series where CJ and Brandon play better, but then at that point, is that offset by some of the others with Oklahoma City playing better? Maybe Chet having a better shooting performance early on. Maybe Giddey giving you anything outside of felony charges. I mean, like what? I don't know, man. So it's just.
Look, because I won't say I'm optimistic, but I did think the way that they played Chet and Shea was impressive. I thought they did a really good job defensively, and I do think like you can replicate that. Like is Shea going to be slightly more efficient in maybe one of the other games? Like probably, because he's just a fucking unbelievable scorer. But I thought Herb, I thought the entire team, to be totally fair, did a really, really good job defensively. I thought the game plan to sort of muck it up, make, Chet wants to shoot a bunch of jumpers. Go ahead. If you make them, cool. If you don't, like, that's kind of what we're playing for. I thought they had a really good defensive game plan. I thought they rebounded the ball well. Like, I thought the game plan defensively was good. I thought so I think that is at least something that you can carry over. And I thought the way Jonas played, and like, you now know, or you should know, that, hey, like, we can get some easy baskets. Like, Chet struggles in one-on-one situations on the block against him. Like, I mean, I think there are some things that you hopefully learned from this that you can carry into the next game. The problem is, and you guys have already said it, is like, we haven't come back in the fourth quarter all year. Like, we have been awful in late game situations all year. And so that to me is the damning part. Is like, yeah, you had a chance to win this, but you didn't, and you haven't won these type of games really all year. And that for me is like, it's the playoffs. Even if you play really well, even if you do a really good job defensively, even if you make Shea take a ton of shots to score 28 points, even if you stop Chet, even if Giddey doesn't do a damn thing, like, you still couldn't do the things in the last 2 minutes to get yourself a win against a good team. And you haven't done that all year. So it's really hard. Yeah, it's really hard for me, like, even singling out some of the positives from this game. It's like, well, damn, but is any of that going to be enough to get you even one win in the series? And like, I don't know.
I got a thought-provoking statement that I found in the chat. Just want to see how you guys thought about this. It's brilliant.
All right. Well, sports 3-2-1. My man, we've been talking about this team in wins and in losses, about this process that we continue to be mad about. People will get in the comments and be like, the team won. You could have sworn the team didn't win by the way our tone is, and all that dumb shit. I hate it. I hate the fact that we can't score or just get a good look, really, right? Like, I don't even – if we would have lost tonight, fine. But to not get a look is the most frustrating part. Like, what was the point of the timeout? What was the point of any of it? What did you draw? What was the secondary action? The other night when they played the Kings, they ran a side pick and roll with CJ, Trey, and Jonas is at the top, and they got 2 straight buckets out of it, right? I hadn't seen that since. Like, the things that they do well, they don't repeat. But the shit that they fuck up on religiously, they repeat like hell, as if like they're gonna change it. And this team is like the Baltimore Ravens. If they're not up, they're gonna lose. If they're behind, they're gonna lose. If they're up by a lot by the third quarter, they're gonna win. If they're down by the fourth quarter, they're gonna lose. Shit, God.
The Pelicans go 1 of 15 from the corner from corner threes tonight. By the way,
I thought that. I will say this. I thought that one, the last one, Herb shot. I thought that one was in.
Herb had an in and out.
That one was down.
Najee had an in and out too. Fuck,
man.
I mean, is it the like the time of night? Like what's like it's been some really bad.
Make sure you smash their like button. Let's hear from Company Burger.
Company Burger is the official burger of Pro Pels Talk and Boot Crew Media. Located at 4600 Ferret Street, Company Burger has been locally owned and operated for 11 years. Grind the meat, bake the buns, make the mayo, get the homemade tots. Company Burger uses Creekstone Farms prime beef to create the best burger in the city with milkshakes to go and a full bar. Company Burger is open every day besides Tuesday from 11 a.m. to 10 p.m. Can't make it out? No worries, we have you covered. You can order online right now at thecompanyburger.com or check them out on the Toast or Uber Eats app. Company Burger, the official burger of Boot Crew Media.
Also presented by Crystal Hot Sauce. Yeah, Chris.
Can I get this question?
Yeah, go ahead.
What's going on, Kai? Because the Thunder know exactly what type of look they want and they know how to get it. There was a point in the fourth quarter where they just started hunting CJ on switches. And whether that was J-Dub or whether that was SGA, like that's how it was going to go. And once the game was close, they were going to find a way to space the floor and get SGA to his spots. And what ends up happening, he gets an and one. Like it's just like that's it. The Pelicans might have an idea of what they want to do, but the odds of them being able to find it and without it being a tough shot, without it being a tough look, I mean, it's tough. Like Ross, like you mentioned, yes, the defensive game plan was great. Yes, I think I learned a little bit more about how they match up with OKC, and I like some of the things that I saw will translate into future games. But can they execute, and what does that look like? What does that look like in a game where Brandon's not playing well and CJ's not playing well? And what's the matchup that you want? That's my question. What's the matchup that they are going to want, search for, and hunt? Because whatever it wasn't available today.
There was Jared, we talked about this set, and they went away from it for like 3 games. They brought it back, I think, in the
find a way to get an easy look for Brandon Ingram. CJ. There's Herb. Yep. For the tie. Yes.
So here's my thing.
Big Hank.
Here's my thing. You see it work. You see multiple actions. You see down screening. You see rolls, and you see lifts. Why the fuck wouldn't you just run this the last play of the game? Just because, like, once again, I'll run it for you again. And whoever wants to chime in next, but I'll run it for you again and tell me why this action is not run more.
Find a way to get an easy look for Brandon Ingram. CJ. There's Herb. Yep. For the tie. Yes.
I believe it's a double stagger screen with a DHO. You string along, so they have to make a decision. Usually you run multiple screens. Somebody's going to make the wrong decision. And CJ's already at an advantage because he's dribbling and he's on the move. So they have to catch him. I don't know why you don't see this enough. Right.
And Trey's on the strong side too, so you can't help off.
So you can't help off him. So this just makes sense. It would even make more sense, to be honest with you, if Brandon was the initial screener. If like you invert Brandon and Herb and put Herb in the opposite corner, right? That way, if CJ drives, he still has Herb in the opposite corner. It's a swing for Brandon. I like my odds with it, right? Or he can just make another decision. Like, I'm not designing this shit, but I can see that there are plays out there that work for them. Now, I don't know why they don't use them or why they're hesitant to use them, but there's always something. Like there's clear evidence that this team can run decent, looks. It's all about creating some kind of advantage. Sometimes I don't even think they want it.
Lito, why isn't there a go-to set in game 88 in crunch time.
Still implementing things, Justin. It's just a little wrinkle he hasn't added yet. That's all. Just
Yeah, why are
kinda
you trying to
hold-
rush it, Justin?
Yeah, man. Just holding the good stuff. You holding the good stuff until this game. Get to the next one. Hey, let me ask you a question. Did y'all remember when they blitzed SGA in 30 seconds left?
No.
Yo, I'm sorry. That was crazy. That was crazy. What's
No,
up, Five?
I'm trying to think. I don't remember them.
I don't remember them
blitzing
blitzing
They did
SGA.
It was
blitz.
I don't remember.
It was one time in the whole game, and it was within a minute left. They blitzed them, and it was the first time that I had seen it. I was wanting to ask y'all, did y'all remember seeing that any other point in the game? Because if I'm not mistaken, it was like he put a wrinkle in right there, but it was
I
the
think,
last minute or so.
matter
Go
of
ahead.
fact, they doubled him early. I do
Okay.
recall them doubling him
Okay.
early. Now, Herb has been one of those people to fuck it, we're gonna double him now, late in the game or some shit like that to get the ball out of his hands. Or even other people, they did it to Fox, they've done it to they did it to LeBron, they've done it to a lot of people. But I don't know. I don't recall that, but I wish they would do that more. I'm not letting Shea beat us when the others are having a shitty night, right? You got to get the ball out of his hands because you know for a fact that he's going to try. I mean, I don't know how many points he had in the first half, but I know it wasn't a lot, maybe 11, if I'm not mistaken. But he had 10 in the third quarter alone. So he's found his rhythm. You have to keep him. You can't let him beat you, right? You have to let the others beat you.
We'll go Ross and Chaz and Chris. Let's talk about Trey Murphy. Trey Murphy once again logging 44 minutes tonight, goes 5-12 from deep, 21 points, 4 rebounds, 2 assists. What are you seeing from him? He had once again. I thought and then defensively, I thought that, I'm not lying to you, I thought this was the best defensive game he's played in 3 years. Overall, I'm talking in space. He was on islands. He was in space. He was in help. He was affecting shots. I mean, he literally did it all. I mean, he got 3 rebounds? I obviously want that total to go 4. But I mean, his activity and then his length defensively, he was not getting beat whatsoever tonight. And he was facing, J-Dub, SGA, some really, really good offensive players. And he held his own tonight.
Yeah, we were just talking about Herb on Shea. I thought the handful of times Trey got switched on him, he did a really good job of not jumping, staying down, not picking up silly fouls or getting off balance. Obviously blocked at least one of his shots. I really did. I thought he had a great defensive game. And to be honest with you, I thought he passed up a couple of shots. I did that I would have in a game like this where we just got nothing fucking going. We got nothing that works. I thought he passed up a couple of shots. Look, the one area of Trey's game that he's going to have to continue to improve on is just being able to create something off the dribble. There were a few times, especially in the first half, it seemed like, Giddey did a pretty good job of just stonewalling any drives. So, a little more punch off the dribble would help. But I thought he had a really good game. I thought he hit a couple of shots that sort of kept us in it. There was some points where I got to 8 or 9. I was like, this shit's about to get away from him. And I thought he had some big plays. But the stuff that stood out to me really was I thought the handful of times he got switched on to J-Dub or Shea, I thought he did a really great job. So, no, look, Trey and Jonas were the obvious bright spots for me tonight.
Cool. Chaz, go ahead about Trey.
A lot of positives from this game. Thought he played well defensively. Would like to see him take that last shot. It's pretty telling though that in a couple of these last games without Zion, that CJ has been the person trusted down the stretch to initiate everything. It's pretty interesting. But overall, I thought Trey played excellent defensively. It's just one of those things where you wonder with Trey and some of the other guys. I thought Najee played well defensively also, is that can you get any better defensively? In my opinion, I don't think they could play any better defensively than they played tonight. But I do think OKC could play a lot better offensively. And that's to me the greater story. Again, I thought Trey was exceptional. I thought he's been exceptional. Man, I think he's been on a bit of a run here. Glad he's got his confidence. Glad to see him being able to play those amount of minutes. I hope those minutes don't. Trey's a young guy, but I hope those minutes don't inevitably catch up to him. And yeah, man, shout out to him. A lot of positives from this game.
Justin, what did yeah. What did you look? I don't know which broadcast y'all were watching, the local one or the national one, but they obviously referred to it countless times that the Thunder had two rookies that played in all 82 games and then were in the game to close out over the last 4 minutes. They played two rookies, Cason Wallace and Chet Holmgren. So they found a ways to integrate those two guys, trust them in big situations, trust them not just in big situations, but like in the biggest situations. And you saw Cason Wallace there at the end of the game, guarding CJ McCollum, doing a good job. Is it disappointing for you that we can't say the same thing about our rookie?
No, what do you mean?
That's about to go off.
Why?
Because do you think it could have helped tonight?
Do I think Jordan Hawkins could have helped?
Yeah, in what way? And are you disappointed in the fact that here we are in game 80, whatever the hell it is, that we can't say we've got that guy in a position where he can play even 1 minute in a game like this? Like, is that not an excitement?
So it's funny you mentioned that because, I was looking at some of our previous podcasts, and the podcast that stuck out to me the most was what Lito said after the All-Star break, and he said you're going to need Jordan Hawkins in the playoffs. And I was talking about why. He's defensively, you're focusing now. You got that's the only team you're playing. So the staff, everybody knows your best sets, your best baseline out of bounds, your best sideline, your best end of game situations. They're gonna most likely stop your initial actions. You're gonna need a guy like a Jordan Hawkins who can just create, who can just maybe get hot, maybe hit a couple corner threes. So where now that defense is starting to has to space back out to Jordan Hawkins. But we talked about this. Like I made peace with it. People are like, well, he's bad defensively. No, he's fucking not. Like he's not. He's not bad defensively. You just want to say that because you're not actually watching the game. Does he miss a couple rotations? Yeah, he's a fucking rookie. But how do you learn? You learn by playing, whether it be the G League or the NBA. But to just simply DMP him on a consistent nightly basis made no sense. Especially after he showed you that he can actually win you a basketball game. He literally went into Dallas when everybody sat out and won you a fucking game. And then what do you do to reward him? You give him 3 minutes the next night and then DMPs the rest of the year. And that's what we're talking about with the process. It's the same thing with the crunch time stuff. They have not executed at all this season. So no, I'm not surprised we lost tonight.
And that's what it's like, this is why we harp on it so much, and we can't, it's unforgivable because you look at Cason Wallace, who was drafted whatever the hell 10th or 11th or whatever the number was by the Thunder, a team with really, really good guards, guys that have experience, that are really young. Giddey, Dort, Shea. I mean, even the guys coming off the bench, Wiggins, and they trade for Gordon Hayward. Like, this is a team with Jalen Williams. This is a team with a ton of really good guards that now have a little experience. And then they also traded for another guy who can go. They played Cason Wallace 20 minutes a night from game 1 to game 82, come hell or high fucking water. Okay? That didn't matter because they saw something in the guy that they thought was going to be beneficial later in the year. And the only way to get yourself prepared to contribute at this point is to fucking play the guy. Right? And so even with really good guards, like guys that are MVP caliber players, they found 15 to 20 minutes for him every single game for the whole damn year. And we couldn't find 8 for ours. And a night like tonight where you couldn't
speaking of which, Dyson Daniels is getting DMPs now in the playoffs. Dyson Daniels came and play.
He played.
30 seconds. Yes, I'm sorry, Chaz. You're right. He did play. He did play 30 seconds tonight. So what's the point of Dyson? Is he hurt?
You're looking at this wrong, Justin. You gotta understand. Willie's just trying to keep the guys guessing, keep them on their toes. You never know. which direction this might go.
You look at a guy like Casey Wallace, who was drafted 10th out of Kentucky, another Kentucky guard. I could have sworn we had a draft where we could have drafted a Kentucky guard, and that Kentucky guard scored 50 points in an NBA game. I could have sworn that happened. Might have happened. I don't know. Well, the issue is you don't have a plan. So when you like you need a plan where you're in the foxhole, right? And you're going against another team that actually has a fucking plan, it makes your plan look like shit, or the lack of plan look like shit. Your process looks like shit. Jordan Hawkins should be playing, right? Like that kid should be playing. I don't give a fuck if it's 5 minutes. I don't give a fuck if it's 20 minutes. He should be playing because you need him. You don't have somebody that they're gonna really respect. Like Herb shot 40% from three this year, right? And they still not respecting him. What does that actually tell you? Like because they know Herb isn't gonna beat them from the 3-point line. You know who will beat them from the 3-point line? Jordan Hawkins will beat them from the 3-point line because he's done it. He's done that already. We've seen a game in which he's done it. He's outdueled Kyrie before. We've seen it. The only issue is he doesn't get an opportunity. You know what's fucked up? Willie Green after that game said, Jordan Hawkins is making my job harder. I think the quote was, it's gonna be hard for me not to play him, or some shit like that, to that effect. Well, it must be fucking tearing you to shreds at this point, because you haven't played that man a lick in games where you needed the 3 ball. So I don't know which one. You're right. Line.
And
You know what's funny, Jared? Go find the date on when he said that, so that I can look at how many minutes Hawkins played from that date to now. Somebody has that date. Tell me.
You know what's also funny?
January 15th or 17th. Whenever I was in fucking Dallas, he said it that night. The first game, he said it that night.
Also in the game plan, to your point, like if you look at just stats, because I know there's a lot of box score people out there. They're like, oh, well, Herb Jones 42%, they're not respecting him, and Jordan Hawkins 36%. Why would they respect Jordan Hawkins? Because it showed me in the game plans and the way opponents literally guarded Jordan Hawkins. Even if he was remember that game when he was 3 of 18? The defense did not matter because they gave him no space. And there was a comment from Wahab. He was like, I forget where it is, but it was something along the lines of like his confidence and arrogance would play in the playoffs when you're struggling to score. Give me the ball. I'll do it. Screw it. I'll shoot it. I'm confident in myself. And like delusional, as you say, right? Like, so then what's the point, leader? Like, if Jose and Najee are gonna, if Jose struggles again in game 2, I already know the answer, but like, it's not. I know it's not a Jose Hawk thing. You're right. It's not a Jose Hawk thing. I'm just saying though, he's only playing 8. He's only playing 8.
Yo, you know what's crazy? You talk about Jordan Hawkins if Najee and Jose struggle. Like, man, Willie might just throw EJ Liddell in. You just never know, man. I don't know. I mean, I can tell you Hawkins isn't gonna play. You know, I could tell. I forgot at some point we pointed out whenever his last game was gonna be, or whenever he was gonna stop getting minutes. But I mean, he's been consistent in that, so you got to give him credit. I mean, look, to me, I said this earlier, but man, this is probably the game it's probably a game you wanted to win, man. Like you caught them sleeping. They were not playing their best basketball. You played pretty bad throughout the game. Did you just see that Brandon quote I just texted you?
Read it out loud, please.
So he says, we lost by 2 tonight, and some of our players didn't have their best game. We are encouraged by that. Some of our players.
That's shameless, not to just be like, I didn't play well.
I'm shocked he even did a post-game interview.
He has to, Chaz.
Playoffs.
Yeah, I'm still, shocked he ain't, found a way out of that. I mean, if we keeping it kind of real, it's like like I said earlier, being nothing, bad is one thing, but you being god fucking awful has cost you at this point, Zion. Like, if you just bad in that game, if you're not like god fucking awful enough to get benched, probably still got Zion, and you probably don't lose. If you just bad this game, if you just bad, you probably, win tonight. So I mean, the bar is so low for this gentleman in this organization. I just the fact that the mitigated gall to get up there and say we, and if I'm Trey, I'm like, excuse me, yeah, who the fuck is we? You know what I'm saying? Yeah, so
This is why y'all are better than me. Like, this is why
to see some accountability, from your leader out there, your max guy,
This is why the guys in that room are like better human beings than me, because if I had asked whatever the question was that led to that response, how on earth do you not immediately follow up with which players you're referring to? That's like my gut response. I was like, well, who? Like, who do you think needs which of some of our players, like which of the, like, who specifically do you think needs to play better? Like, just for out of morbid curiosity, just like see what his response is to that. That's like, it's just crazy for me to just say some of our players. Like, that's a unbelievable lack of self-awareness.
Game 2, Jarrett, 7-game series. Do you have any hope for game 2?
Yeah, I always said game 2 was the game, right? That's the one you steal. Well, it's kind of tough. They're going to be better. To be honest, to Ross's earlier point, defensively, I thought they played as well as you can. I think Chad said it too. But something that really stuck out to me, I said this a couple days ago, referring to like how they're going to rotate, right? And to leave Jonas in there and his responsibility is to the corner. I thought that was perfect. Like, it played out how I thought it would in my head. Now, Trey probably got caught up in how they usually run it and didn't rotate to, I think, who hit that 3? Who was that, Justin? Do you remember? Who hit the 3 at the top?
Chet hit the 3.
Chet hit the 3 at the top. Like,
yeah.
Those are the small nuances of a game that could cost you or could win you a game. Just understanding those instances. But I think it's replicable, right? You may not stop them throughout the entire game. You may not even hold them under 100 points. But I think that allows you to stay in the game. And hopefully just maybe Brandon and CJ can win a game for you. They get paid the most money. That was money time. Hopefully they can earn it.
Justin and the rest of you, do y'all think anything changes with the rotation? Like, OKC played 11 guys, like 10 minutes tonight or more or whatever it was. I think one of those guys might have got 7, but they played 11 guys, a bunch of minutes. Do you think there's any wiggle room in the rotation? Like, just maybe it's Dyson, right? Like, I'm not saying, Hawkins is going to come out of nowhere and play 20 minutes, but like, do y'all think anything with the rotation changes whatsoever?
Maybe the second unit, but if you think about it, they generated good looks. They went 1 of 15 from the corner. I know they scored whatever was nice on points. Every single lineup they threw at the Thunder, they struggled. But OKC might shoot a lot better here in game 2. I mean, obviously that I don't think there's a lot of, like, to me, I don't know if there's a lot of adjustments from the Pelicans side, which makes me kind of scared.
I think you see less Jonas.
That would be insane. That would be fucking insane.
I know, but
why would you say that?
Well, because it's Willie
why would
Green.
you say that? Oh,
because it's Willie Green, and I think they're going to try to find a way to get Dyson a few more minutes. And if they had to choose a guy to take those minutes from, the obvious candidate would be
that would be insane.
Jonas. I think they're going to try some small ball 5 looks and see if that gives them anything.
When you say small ball 5, you mean when small ball 5 when the 7 players on the court?
I think you might see some. I think you might see Dyson at the 5 a little bit, like we talked about in the regular season. I think that's. I'd be shocked if they didn't give that a try.
Some we're not talking about. JV had 9 offensive rebounds tonight.
I said it.
That was more than the Thunder had total.
But the Thunder. Another thing though, they didn't start crashing until maybe the third or fourth quarter. Like they were just like, all right, let's get back. But I think if they decided to, that might be one of the things that'll get Jonas off the floor. Like, oh well, they crashing the boards anyway. They got better athletes. Like, we got an excuse not to play JV. You know what I'm saying? Like JV played, to me, he's another guy who, to me, maximized his effectiveness as far, because he's never gonna get like JV ain't about to get like 18 shots and no shit like that. So for him to get 20 boards, I felt like he pretty much maximized his effectiveness. And yeah, man, I think, but overall, I do think there's a lot of positives to take away from this game, and you just gotta go into the next game and just try to play with a little bit more force.
Lito, go ahead. Oh, you're muted, Lito.
My fault. I was about to say, I was saying, I don't really know like what else to say. Like, there's not a whole lot. I mean, they played well enough to win, which is the pro in this situation. Look, Brandon got to be better. CJ got to be better. That's pretty much it. Like Chad said, like, yeah, you should have different expectations for Brandon than you have CJ, but yeah, like Brandon gotta play better. Willie just said basically there's nothing we need to do to free him up. He's got to play through it. So if your coach telling you that, I mean,
what was the quote?
He said it's not about what we need to do to free up Brandon. This is playoff basketball. He's got to continue to play through it, have some gamesmanship out there. Got to get to the free throw line a bit more. Continue to play with force.
You saying get to the free throw line in the playoffs? Firstly, like Shea only shot about what, 6, maybe something like that.
He shot 6.
So you want a guy who has an extremely slow first step, hasn't had any gamesmanship this entire season, averaging a career low free throw attempts, to have gamesmanship in the playoffs where they have an even more restricted whistle. Not to mention OKC, they ran a couple screens to free up Shea from Herb and stuff like that tonight. So you mean to tell me there's no adjustments that you can make, even if you want to play close to the vest? Like, there's no, all right. I mean, hey,
there is simple arrogance and delusion that's coming from this team. There's no way you can say, you could look at that game and be like, matter of fact, the whole season, and be like, Brandon has been able to against Kuminga, he has trouble against like physicality, against Dort multiple times he's had trouble with, like, this isn't anything new. Like, you've seen this already losing. Oh my God.
It's a good comment, Thomas. And I agree. I totally agree.
I hope you're right, Tom.
Yeah.
I don't know.
That's really. I haven't got a super chat, so appreciate the super chat. Sorry, we're going on hour 5. We got to close up.
Shout out to Joe, man. Appreciate
Joe.
you,
Yeah,
Joe.
appreciate you. It's the worst.
Big money, Joe.
The Thunder were playing the series, and you couldn't secure the win due to bonehead mistakes. Fuck the officiating excuse. The Thunder were giving you this one. I completely agree. Shout out to Trey, Joe, Trey, show my dogs.
Damn, Joe.
Joe.
Okay. Yeah. I'm not making this excuse. I know Lito made the excuse for him already, but I'm not making the excuse for him. BI was playing Minecraft out there. Not bad in terms of how close the game was, to be honest. No Zion. BI played like Killian Hayes. Shout out to Trey for shooting well. Great.
Damn, Killian Hayes got a stray. That's fucking.
The odds of the Thunder repeating performance low mid. The odds of us repeating performance extremely high. X, like 5 said, other teams. Shout out to you, X. Like 5 said, other teams go to something that is working until the other team adjusts to stop it. This team lets other teams off the hook. Why? I don't fucking know, man. Yeah. David, there were seconds, not minutes.
Thank you, AJ.
Yeah, no, he's not coming back this series. Herm, it's a good. People are saying should CJ lean into him. Did y'all think he could have leaned into him there or no?
Nah, I think
That's
he would have gotten up. You're not getting that call in the playoffs.
Nah,
Firstly, secondly, I think you had a higher chance of getting an offensive foul in that situation. See, the crazy thing is, again, you got how many seconds left on that clock? 14, maybe.
For what?
Yeah.
Oh
Yeah,
yeah, to start the offense.
Yeah.
The last play.
McCollum, he made the 2 on the fadeaway. J-Dub defending. The rookie Cason Wallace on the switch. As McCollum go for the 3. McCollum dribbles it off of his foot. Nothing doing. Leans in. McCollum the 3. 2 straight.
What's crazy? I'm gonna
he
cut
could've
you off.
gone
But like,
into
what's crazy is like it wasn't that bad of a like. It was a fucked up play, right? The whole thing was fucked up. But like, but it wasn't that bad of a look. Like the
Ross,
grand
that's
scheme
not
of
the
things,
point.
like,
The look is fine.
No,
The look is fine.
I understand. I'm just hindsighting it as like, yeah, it was all terrible. But like, out of all that fucked up shit, like he still ended up with a half-ass like makeable look to win the game.
My only issue was like the ball was supposed to be in the air with about 10 seconds left. And then if you miss the shot, you can foul and you have another opportunity to potentially take a 3 and tie the game. I just think I think any lower tier coach would know that it's sad that wasn't recognized, but I'm not surprised whatsoever.
Big Hank, appreciate you.
Big
What's
Bang
good,
Hank.
Big Hank?
I want to end on this, man. First off, Trey's been incredible starting. We all said this. Brandon should have started that Sunday game against the Lakers. No way in hell he should have. Should have come off the bench.
Crazy.
Should have came off the bench. Thomas, who's the coach? Yeah, thanks, Thomas. AJ, appreciate you, bro.
Thank you, AJ.
Appreciate you.
I don't know what super sticker is, but you know, if you have comments, let us know. 5 seconds with Lito. We got a long ass night. Go ahead, Lito.
Man, just pray for rain because I don't think you need no more thunder.